Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name's Taylor, and today I'm going to be doing a quick install and review of a Cipher harness bar for my 2015 Dodge Challenger Hellcat. Here it is right here. It's got all the hardware necessary for the installation. It does bolt into your factory seatbelt mounting location, so there's no cutting or drilling involved. And I did have this one powder coated red to match my interior, which is about $60 at the local powder coat shop. It comes in black from the factory. But anyways, I'm going to pull the car out and see how this all bolts together. So here's my car that we'll be installing this harness bar on. It's a 2015 Challenger Hellcat. Do a quick cold start for you guys. It is pretty cold here. It's 20 degrees or so. Snow on the ground. The car hasn't been started for a month, so this might be a fairly loud one. So I'm here in the back of the car now, got the seats forward, and the first step is removing these plastic covers that go over the B-pillar part of where the seatbelt comes out. So it just pops off like that. Don't really have to worry about any clips breaking or anything. And we're going to be bolting our first mounting location to that bolt right in there. So I'll show you that next. Here's the aftermarket plate bolted on. They provide you with a pretty long bolt and a spacer, which you can see there, to space it out from the B-pillar. And I went ahead and ran the factory seat belt right in front of that spacer to reduce friction on it. So that side's done, got the passenger side done. All that's left to do is put the main bar in. Got the cross part of the harness bar in, bolted to those side plates I showed you. The last step is to put these tensioner bars in here. They have little eyelets on each side, so I'm going to fasten that to that bottom B-pillar seat belt bolt into there and snug it all up, and we'll be done. Here's the finished product. I've got it all tightened up and leveled out with these tensioning rods, and I have to say I'm very impressed with the fit. It doesn't come close to any of the interior body panels, and I did take the car for a quick drive and didn't notice any squeaking or rattling noises, so that was great. I like that. The only complaint I have is that they only provide you with a simple bolt for this bottom B-pillar seatbelt anchor where that tensioning rod goes, and if you plan on running a full harness set with a lap belt, you'll need an eye bolt. And the eye bolt that came with my Sawbelt 6-point kit isn't long enough for going through this harness bar, so I'll need to get one that's about twice as long just to make that work. But all in all, a very nice kit, and it does look good powder coated to match. Next, I'll just show you a couple things I've done to the car so far. That is a short throw shift kit from Hurst. It was a very nice upgrade over the factory one, which is pretty sloppy. So that's nice and tight and makes it fun to drive. I also did 315 30/20 rear Nitto tires. They're Nitto NTO ones for road course use, and that's on a 20 by 10.5 factory reproduction wheel with an 1/8 inch wheel spacer, just so I don't scrape my inner plastic fender liner. Overall, pretty happy with the performance of that tire on this car. I did the same tire on the front with a 285 35/20 on the factory 20 by 9.5 inch wheel. And all in all, I think it sticks pretty well despite the weight of the car. They did get rather hot. On the track, I would see about a 10 psi increase after about 20 minutes of driving, which is quite a bit. I'm hoping to fill them with nitrogen, and that might help solve that problem a little bit. Next, I have a 2-inch lowering kit on this from H&R. I installed it myself and then had the dealership align it. And it does handle quite a bit better with it that much lower to the ground. Definitely helps the look as well. It looks pretty sporty. The tire is just tucked into the fender enough, and it doesn't scrape, which is nice. The only other things done to this car is a couple of Flowmaster upgrades. We have a local engineering facility here, and they've taken the car several times to do some test measurements on prototype kits. So it does have a Flowmaster Outlaw catback exhaust, which is pretty loud if you saw in that startup video just a minute ago. And they also used my car for their prototype for the Flowmaster Delta Force air intake. and I'm pretty impressed with the intake. It makes a nice blower whine, and it keeps the intake air temperature quite a bit cooler. It sucks through the headlight as the factory one does, and then through the hood. And I was scared at first about that being open to the elements, but they do provide you with a plate to block it off if you plan on driving in any weather. So been pretty safe so far with that. That pretty much wraps up what I'm doing to the car today. There will be many more updates along the way for modifications to this car, track events, drag events, you name it. I'll be doing it this coming season with the car. You'll probably even see some updates of my Ford F450. It's a 6.4 Power Stroke. I already have a DPF delete kit on here with an H&S Minimax tuner, so as far as performance goes, it's about as far as I want to get with it. But I'll probably end up doing some 22.5 Alcoas or some American Forces, something like that, just to keep the daily driver exciting. I also have a 1970 Chevrolet El Camino, which was actually my first car. I got when I was 12 years old and worked on it until I could drive when I was 16. So I'll show you the motor real quick. I built it in high school. It's a 468 Chevrolet big block, and it's probably about 500 horse right now. It's just got Chevy 049 heads, stainless valves, headers, pretty big cam. It's about 550 lift. And so if I do an update on this car soon, it'll be for aluminum heads, likely Edelbrock Performer RPM heads with a Lunati Voodoo roller cam, and that should put this thing somewhere in the ballpark of 600 horse. So that will be very fun to drive, and you know, everything about it will be fun if I do that. So keep an eye out for that, and let me know what you think of these 3 different cars here. What would you prefer seeing an update on? I know I'm new to YouTube, but I promise things will get exciting pretty quick, and it should be a good time. Anyways, thanks for stopping in, guys. I appreciate it. I'm new to YouTube, so if you could let me know what you liked and what you didn't like about the video, what you'd like to see more of, if it's the El Camino, the Hellcat, or the F450. I just got that Mercedes, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it, so we'll see. Maybe that'll be in an update too. But if you like this, please hit the subscribe button, like the video, and I'll see you next time.